Hola, clase. Welcome back. We are starting this week with some new stuff. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about words for the in Spanish. Thrilling. We are going to get into adjectives eventually, which are words that describe like tall, short, nice, funny, athletic, stuff like that. But before we do that, we have to know how to use our nouns in Spanish, our persons, places, peoples, and things. So we're going to talk about articles, is what they're called in Spanish. And your assignment on this assignment, you're going to have your own version of this document that I'm filling in. So you'll fill in the document and do the activities that are on the document as well. So we're going to get started. So let's talk about definite articles. Definite articles are basically, it's just a fancy term for the. In Spanish, they have 4 ways of saying the word the. And in English, we obviously have 1. Every single noun in Spanish has a gender, and that's something that we don't have in English. For example, like the word for tree is just tree. It's not specifically a boy tree or a girl tree, it's just tree. The floor is the floor, and the sky is the sky. So that's different. So in Spanish, everything has a gender. I don't know why. Some things make sense, some things don't make sense. But in this situation, we're going to be dealing with a lot of like people vocabulary. And in Spanish, they're kind of polar in terms of saying like boy, girl. But there is a movement now, as there is in English, to have more of gender neutral terms, which I think is fantastic so that everybody can feel included. But for the sake of you learning the concept, we're going to stick to masculine and feminine. Masculine meaning like male, and feminine meaning like female. Again, sometimes there's a pattern to these nouns having a gender, and sometimes there isn't. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the words for the in Spanish. And there's a bit of a pattern, and I'll point it out to you in a minute. But anytime I want to say, for example, if I want to say the boy, I have chico. Chico means boy. The word for the is going to be el chico. Typically, nouns that end in an O are masculine, and they take the word el for the. If I want to say the boys and make it plural, this becomes los chicos. You'll notice that the OS in los matches the ending of OS in chicos, which is kind of nice. So that's a nice pattern. On the flip side, if I want to talk about a feminine noun and say the girl, chica means girl. The word for the is la. If I want to say the girls, plural, this changes to las. So you'll notice that la ends in A, as does the word chica. You'll notice that las ends in AS, as does the word chicas. So that's kind of a nice little pattern. So the only one that's kind of weird is L, so I'll put a little star next to it. So again, OS, OS, A, AS, AS, which is kind of nice. And again, all 4 of these words that I have here in red, they all mean the. Ending letters. So oftentimes your ending letter is what's going to help you determine the gender of your noun. If something ends in O or OS, it's masculine, typically. If something ends in A or AS, typically it's feminine. Oddly enough, if something ends in CION or CIONES, also feminine. And then there are nouns in Spanish that end in E or an R or an L or a T or something like that. And those are ones that you would have to look up or just kind of know from experience, and in your case, you'd have to look it up. You do have a couple of words like this in your Quizlet deck for this chapter, so we'll see when we get there. Your job now, after you've filled in this part, is to fill in the blanks with the correct definite article. And again, remember it depends on the last letter of the word. So for example, the first one, we have galletas, which means cookies. Galletas ends in AS. So if I'm going to choose one of these four words, el, la, los, or las, I'm going to put in las galletas because galletas ends in AS and so does las. Makes sense? It's just a pattern. So again, chicos ends in OS. Which one of these ends in OS? Los. So that will be your answer. So you're going to fill in these blanks. There are a couple on here, such as mujer, información, and hombre, in which case you're going to have to use your Quizlet to look it up or see above. So I think you can handle doing that. So those again are the four words that mean the in Spanish. We're going to move on to the four words that mean a, an, or some in Spanish. Those are called indefinite articles. Again, that's just a fancy word. But a, an, or some. So if I want to say, we're still using chico, chicos, chica, and chicas. So if I want to say a boy instead of the boy, I want to say a boy. I say un chico. If I want to say some boys, I say unos chicos. If I want to say a girl, I say una chica. If I want to say some girls, I say unas chicas. And you'll notice again that there is a pattern with the exception of this one right here. So you have chicos ends in OS, and so does unos. So unos chicos, una chica, unas chicas. That is a pattern. So that will help you in determining what word to use when you're trying to say a, an, or some. Down below, right here, you are going to fill in the blank with the correct indefinite article. So again, you're using, in this bottom section, you're using un, unos, una, or unas. So we'll do the first couple together. And again, it's a pattern. So you got to look at the last two letters. So galletas ends in AS. So if I want to say some cookies, we'll look up here for which one of these I'm going to use. Ends in AS. Which one ends in AS? Unas. Another example, pizza. Pizza is pizza in Spanish. Pizza ends in A. Which one of those up top ends in an A? Una. So now I have some cookies or a pizza. And that's what you'll do for the rest of this activity. There are, again, a couple that you'll have to look up in your Quizlet to figure out if it is masculine or feminine, but I think you can handle doing that. So you'll have your own copy of this document, and you'll do the activities, this one and this one. Cool. Buena suerte. Good luck.